children homes.
Building cities, communities, and homes.
When hyperacidity threatens to turn your stomach into a raging volcano, reach for Rulox. Rulox Antacid Anti-Flatulence Suspension contains effective ingredients to combat indigestion, heartburn, stomach gas caused by hyperacidity, giving you effective relief. Rulox Antacid Anti-Flatulence Suspension, effective relief against hyperacidity.
Made by SKG Pharma Limited. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor.
Wow! Darling, have you heard the news?
What news?
A company is offering an unbeatable sales bonanza this Easter.
Wait, hold on, darling. What company can afford to offer the people such bonanza at this hard time? Could it be sing?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Sims Easter Sales Bonanza. Come 25th of March to April 4th, 2024. Sims Digital Centers will be offering special discounts on wide range of electronics, home appliances, and Sucam inverters and batteries. Visit the Sims Digital Centers. This is a once-in-a-year opportunity. Don't miss it. For inquiries, call 0700 030 7467 or visit www.simsng.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sims Digital Centers, for the right combination of quality and price.
From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the News at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Ayotunde Balogun.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, the federal government moves against Binance, the cryptocurrency exchange platform, files 4-count tax evasion charge against it, just as the National Security Advisor confirms escape of an executive of the company, Nadeem Anjarwalla. Minister of Information insists there was no payment of ransom to free Kuriga school children, says Islamic scholar Sheikh Abubakar Gumi has been with security operatives to answer questions over his comments on bandits. And former head of state General Yakubu Gowon urges ECOWAS member countries to remain united and not allow external forces cause division within the regional bloc.
On business news tonight, experts in Nigeria's financial markets expect another hike in interest rates as Central Bank Monetary Policy Committee kicks off two-day meeting.
On sports news tonight, former Brazil defender Dani Alves leaves prison after settling a €1 million bail set by a court to ensure his release pending appeal from a rape conviction.
And from the nation's capital, as families of victims of the Bauchi stampede mourn, state government reveals the death toll from the incident has risen to 7.
And in international news from London, Russia has charged 4 men that it says attacked a Moscow concert hall, killing at least 137 people.
There may be not any place to hide for Nadeem Anjarwalla, one of the suspects in the ongoing criminal probe into the activities of Binance in Nigeria. This is because the federal government says it has activated all operations, including contacting Interpol, to ensure his rearrest. This comes after the Office of the National Security Advisor confirmed the escape of Mr. Anjarwalla, and after a 4-count tax evasion charge was filed against the company. According to the Minister of Information, Mr. Mohammed Malagi, who briefed State House correspondents after the Federal Executive Council meeting today, efforts will not be spared in bringing the suspect to book. Also speaking on the matter, the chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Mr. Zach Adedeji, said that all litigations filed against Mr. Anjarwalla will be pursued to a logical conclusion.
There is now a widespread manhunt on him. The Interpol has also been contacted, and government is optimistic that this individual will be brought to book very soon. And those who were charged with the responsibility of keeping him in custody have also been arrested, and they have been questioned. And as more information as regards that is available, it will be made available to Nigerians.
For us in revenue, it doesn't matter because we are dealing with company, not individual. So irrespective of where they are in the world, we have what it takes to make sure that they come and they comply with our law. So it doesn't matter whether the man is here or anywhere in the world. As long as we have Binance, there is no way they will escape the compliance matter that we file against them. So I don't think we have any problem in that.
Meanwhile, the retired Assistant Director of the Department of State Services and Security Consultant, Mr. Dennis Amakri, has been analyzing circumstances leading to the escape of the Binance executive Nadeem Anjarwalla from the custody of the Office of the National Security Advisor. Mr. Amakri questions why the Office of the NSA is chosen for such detention and not the facility of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, or even the Secret Police. He was a guest on our political program, Politics Today.
He should have been watch-listed. In fact, he would have been taken into custody right from when he entered the country. But he came in with a different passport, and then, of course, he was taken to court, and then, of course, he was taken again to a detention center. I don't know the NSA as, whether they have a detention facility. The NSA is an advisory body to the president. So we feel that if he felt that suspect should be remanded, he should have sent him either to the EFCC, his former place, or send it to the DSS to keep until the date of the court. I can tell you right now, without even seeing the man, that he has rubbed hands with some security agents who allowed him. I'm happy that they've arrested some of them and let them interrogate them. They should tell us exactly what happened and how much he gave to them to let him go. For them now to even allow him to go and pray, I think there are a lot of loopholes and lapses there. Because if he wants to pray, we have held heads of state in detention, and they pray where they eat and live and sleep. So I don't see why this particular guy will be allowed to go to the nearest mosque to go and pray, and from there disappears. And then he went through the airport, and the airport does not have him on their watch list. That is strange, because immediately he was arrested, he should have been fingerprinted, and then, of course, put his picture and passports, number, everything, to all the land, sea, and air borders.
In other stories, the abducted Kuriga school children have been presented to Governor Uba Sani at the Government House in Kaduna State, following their rescue by the military and local authorities in Zamfara State 2 weeks after they were kidnapped. Presenting the rescued children to Governor Sani, the General Officer commanding the 1 Mechanized Division of the Nigerian Army explains that 6 out of the 137 children are hospitalized at a military hospital. Governor Sani, who expressed joy over the return of the children, however, cautioned against politicizing insecurity in Kaduna State, giving assurances that security of lives and property of citizens remain a top priority of his administration.
It's freedom.
Last, for the abducted students of LEA Primary School and Government Secondary School, Kuriga, in Chikun local government area of Kaduna State. The children were abducted by bandits who attacked their schools located within the same premises on March 7. On Monday, the children were brought to the Sir Kashim Ibrahim Government House for their official handover to Governor Ubasani.
The abducted Kuriga school children.
The General Officer commanding the 1 Merchandise Division gives an update on the medical situation of the victims and their teacher.
The abducted Kuriga school children were in the early hours of yesterday, Sunday, 24th March 2020. Safely rescued after spending about 16 days in captivity. The students were initially received and administered first aid at the Nigerian Army Troops Forward Operating Base.
For Governor Sani, these are exciting times as he warns against anybody fomenting conflict in the state.
We should not politicize the issue of insecurity in Nigeria. And that is the reason why we are very discreet in the way we approach this issue, and today we are successful. But any attempt to continue to undermine the effort of the security agencies in Nigeria in the name of politics is jeopardizing the lives and properties of our innocent citizens in Nigeria. I want to also caution our insecurity merchants and conflict merchants in Nigeria to be cautious with the utterances. Since the return of my children in the last 2 days, or yesterday evening when I was able to visit them, a lot of people have been spending a lot of time coming with permutations on how these children were released, what happened. For us in Kaduna, what is more important is the safe returns of our children. We're happy they're here with us.
The state government is hopeful to reunite the children with their families in the coming days.
Meanwhile, the Senate Committee on Army is commending the Nigerian Army and other security agencies for the successful rescue mission of the kidnapped students of LEA School, Kuriga in Chikun local government area of Kaduna State. In a statement by the chairman of the committee, Senator Abdulaziz Yaradua, the Senate says the heroic efforts of the troops working in conjunction with local authorities and government agencies have once again demonstrated their unwavering commitment to ensuring the safety and security of the nation. It also acknowledges the recent rescue operation in Gada local government area of Sokoto State of 16 pupils, that's Almajiris, and a woman freed from captivity and then handed over to the Sokoto State government. It adds that these combined efforts underscore the unwavering resolve of the nation's armed forces to locate and rescue all hostages, as well as bring the perpetrators of these heinous crimes to justice. Staying with the rescue of the Kuriga students, the federal government insists no ransom was paid for their freedom. While the Minister of Information, Mohammed Malagi, who briefed State House correspondents after the Federal Executive Council meeting, said the victims secured their freedom through the concerted efforts of security agencies in the country. Responding to questions about comments made by the Islamic scholar Sheikh Abubakar Gumi over the activities of bandits in the country, the minister explained that government is open for constructive advice that will assist it in tackling the challenge of insecurity in Nigeria.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is determined to end this cycle of payment of ransom to kidnappers. Government believes that this continues to encourage these kidnappers, these criminal elements to perpetrate this act within the Nigerian nation. The security agencies are also upping their game, evolving new strategies of getting at these criminal elements and ensuring that our children or anybody who is kidnapped for that matter is taken out in safety. Government will not stop at anything to get any kind of information that it requires to solve our problems. The security agencies are up and doing. Shegumi or any other individual for that matter is not above the law. If he has suggestions that are constructive enough for the security agencies to take, they will take. But if they think that he is also making some statements that appear to be reckless, he will also be reprimanded. There is nobody that is above the law in this regard. And I'm aware, and let me put it here, that I'm aware that he has been also a guest of the security agencies to answer questions. When you make remarks, especially remarks that border on our national security, it is incumbent on the security agencies to dig further into that, and they are doing just that.
For infrastructure, the Federal Executive Council has approved the construction of 28 roads and bridges across the country worth over 1.2 trillion naira. The Minister of Works, Mr. Dave Umahi, said this shortly after the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by the President. The Council also approved the setting up of an infrastructure fund to be known as the Renewed Hope Infrastructural Fund.
Cabinet ministers and other top government officials gather for the 4th Federal Executive Council meeting of the year. With the arrival of President Bola Tinubu, the meeting commences. A few hours later, ministers brief State House correspondents on the outcome of the meeting. The Council approved the establishment of a National Infrastructure Fund to help address the huge infrastructure deficit in the country.
They've approved the establishment of Renew Hope Infrastructure Fund as the catalyst to actually drive our infrastructure agenda. So this innovative fund consolidates existing resources to drive economic growth and connectivity across sectors like transport, agriculture, aviation, and education, and other social.
Council also considered and approved a total of 28 roads and bridges for construction across the country for the Ministry of Works.
The other 28 projects totaling 1.267 trillion, they were all approved by FEC, having gone through the BPP, and we got certificates of no objection.
The matter of food security and the agricultural value chain came up, and Council gave approval for support from the Japanese International Cooperation Agency.
Around 15 billion yen for the agricultural sector, and it's essentially free money. 30 years, 10 years moratorium, and 1% interest rate. So it's the kind of bilateral support that doesn't put a strain on Nigeria financially and, of course, helps in the agricultural sector.
In order to guarantee real sector growth within the next 6 months, an economic management team task force has been constituted. Council has approved the establishment of the National Youth Investment Fund with 110 billion naira to support young entrepreneurs in the country. The President has also directed that all social security schemes, such as the consumer credit and the student loan, should be accelerated for the benefit of all Nigerians. From the Presidential Villa, Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.
In part 2, after the break, all eyes on Senegal as it holds its presidential elections. Former President Goodluck Jonathan applauds the people of Senegal for a hitch-free exercise during the polls. Please stay with us.
Time waits for no man, or so they said. That's why you set goals and set your minds to achieving them. Because somehow you believe that one day your time will come. So through the highs and the lows, the good days and the not so great ones, you never stop thriving, hustling, and showing up. Because you know, even if tomorrow is not guaranteed, at least you've got control over today. But it's not enough to believe it. You've got to live it too, with the right partner by your side, providing you with all the support you need to forge ahead, and reminding you that now it's your time, not tomorrow, today. Today is yours to create greatness, to achieve your dreams, to reach your goals. And with FCMB, today is yours in every way. FCMB, My Bank and I.
I'm the businessman I am today because I scoured the world to find that feeling my clients want to wear. This country makes it its business to inspire at every moment.
Own your moments in South Africa this Easter holiday. Explore new holiday deals at southafrica.net. Come journey with us.
We all know the feeling, hanging out with friends and reaching for that refreshing bottle of soda. But hold on a minute. What we don't always see is what's hidden inside those bottles. So when you reach for that bottle, can, or juice box, remember, it's not just a drink, it's a threat to your health.
The Duchess International Hospital caters to every aspect of a family's health needs. A one-stop shop for maternity and child health services, emergency medicine and critical care, medical and surgical subspecialties, dental and eye care, and a range of other subspecialties and services, all available at a single location right here in the heart of Ikeja. And it really doesn't matter if you're paying out of pocket using your HMO or private insurance. We focus completely on providing that world-class affordable healthcare for all the family at all times.
More veggies, but we want it tasty and easy too. Knorr cubes, that's the secret. Made with real ingredients like chicken, parsley, and garlic. And enriched with iron, so your meals are better for you and more delicious too. That's the cocoa. Let's give it some accolades. Change your world by changing what's on your plate.
A lush woman goes for it and thinks later. A lush woman may fail again and again because nobody ever starts out a pro. A lush woman stands up to all stereotypes, and with every stand, she'll be doing it for her, and her. Lush hair. Be beautiful.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 coming to you live on Channels Television from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. The National Security Advisor confirms escape of an executive of Binance, Nadeem Anjarwalla, from its custody. Federal government moves against Binance, the cryptocurrency exchange platform, files 4-count tax evasion charge against it. Minister of Information insists there was no payment of ransom to free Kuriga school children. Says Islamic scholar Sheikh Abubakar Gumi has been with security operatives to answer questions over its comments on bandits. Former Head of State General Yakubu Gowon urges ECOWAS member countries to remain united and not allow external forces cause division within the regional bloc. Member countries of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, have been asked to remain united rather than allowing external forces to cause division within the bloc. Now, the call was made by Nigeria's former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, retired, at the inauguration of the Academy of International Affairs in Abuja. General Gowon wants members of the Academy to bring their wealth of experience to bear in order to redeem Nigeria's image abroad. Our correspondent, Benny Ark, reports.
This is the inauguration of the Academy of International Affairs, a private think tank led by renowned political science and international relations scholar, Professor Bolaji Akinyemi. senior government officials, members of the diplomatic corps, and other critical stakeholders are in attendance. The think tank comprises of high-level professionals who have interests in external affairs. The idea of the Academy is to create a platform to contribute to Nigeria's foreign policy formulation and implementation as an independent body.
In setting up this Academy, we are not only doing Nigeria a favor, we are doing ourselves a favor. And I hope that in our activities, this mutual favor will manifest itself not in antagonism, but in cooperation.
We don't want to be continuously pulled back to negotiating 20th century agreements that are mercantilistic in approach. So this should be the outlook, and that is why we need the Academy also to help prepare us for such engagements.
Members of the cohort include former ministers of foreign affairs, seasoned career diplomats, distinguished scholars, and former heads of security and military agencies.
Thank you for the standing ovation.
A former Nigerian head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, is the chairman of the occasion, and he makes a case for the unity of the economic community of West African states, ECOWAS.
No matter any difficulties on the way, be patient, but pursue your effort to keep the union, the ECOWAS, together.
The representative of the Vice President takes the Academy to task on the formulation of the nation's policy.
I'd like to congratulate Professor Bolaji Akinyemi and all the fellows of the Academy for stepping up when the nation needs them most. The selection of fellows of this Academy reminds Nigerians of its wealth in human resource, both active and relatively underutilized. I hope this Academy triggers an active interest among other professional groups to organize and place assets at the disposal of the nation.
The activities of the Academy include research-based policy planning and strategic analysis, as well as an annual presidential foreign policy dialogue to deliberate on major national and global issues. Benny Ark, Channels Television News.
Senegal's ruling coalition candidate Amadou Ba has called the opposition Bassirou Diomaye Faye to concede victory in Sunday's presidential election in Senegal, of course. Well, unofficial results showed that Mr. Faye had a strong lead over Mr. Ba. Now, Mr. Faye had been in prison 10 days before the vote and campaigned on the promise of radical change. Well, official results from an election which was originally due last month are expected in the coming days. The vote followed months of political turmoil in one of Africa's most stable democracies, Senegal, after outgoing President Macky Sall tried to postpone the election until December this year. Several of the other 15 candidates had already conceded. President Sall had also congratulated Mr. Faye and said that it was a win for the people of Senegal. Let's head to the nation's capital where Terry Kumi is standing by to give us the very latest from our Abuja studio. Hello, Terry. Great to see you again.
Well, thank you very much, Ayo. It feels good to be back. Well, we'll begin on a sad note. In Bauchi State, the death toll in the stampede during an almsgiving program in the state capital has risen to 7. Police spokesperson of the Bauchi Command, Ahmed Wakili, says 6 of the victims were pronounced dead at the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University Teaching Hospital, while 1 person died at home. Our correspondent Hajara Aliyu visited one of the families and now reports.
One family on Kobe Street in Bauchi Metropolis is grieving the loss of 2 family members, a daughter and an 8-year-old granddaughter, after Sunday's tragic stampede that claimed multiple lives at the almsgiving program. The father struggles to contain his emotions, managing to utter only a few words.
I was on my way to morning prayers at the mosque when they approached me, informing me about the almsgiving program. I bid them farewell, and they assured me they will return soon.
The sister, who was in the company of the deceased and her daughter before their demise, describes the unfortunate incident.
As more and more people arrived, the crowd continued to grow. I noticed her not too far from me, struggling to navigate through the crowd. She heard her crying daughter close, repeatedly pushing people away to protect her, and the daughter pleaded and urged them to leave.
The scene that followed the stampede showed personal belongings like shoes and clothing abandoned. As of Monday, the Bauchi police have revised the death toll to 7. One victim is currently undergoing treatment at the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University Teaching Hospital in Bauchi. Her mother remains hopeful for her speedy recovery.
It's only natural to empathize with anyone experiencing such a severe health condition, even if they are not a blood relative.
Recall, a large number of residents had gathered at Shafa Holdings Company PLC along Jos Road in Bauchi Metropolis on Sunday to receive 10,000 naira cash gift as alms provided by a philanthropist. However, chaos ensued, resulting in the stampede. Hajara Aliyu, Channels Television News.
Now to the communal clash between communities bordering Langtang North and Mikang local government areas of Plateau State, where the death toll has increased to 6, with 30 persons injured and 40 houses set ablaze. Governor Caleb Butuang has condemned the communal hostilities and extended his sympathies to the victims, describing the clashes as unnecessary and unacceptable. Meanwhile, Plateau State Commissioner for Information and Communication, Mr. Musa Shoms, says the disturbance escalated from Saturday, but was curtailed eventually by security agents. Our former trade union leaders are calling for the resignation of the national chairman of the Labour Party, Mr. Julius Abure, and the president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Mr. Joe Ajeru. The veterans, led by former Vice President of the NLC, Mr. Issa Tijani, made the demand at a media briefing in Abuja. Mr. Tijani explains that the allegation of fraud against Mr. Abure has dented the image of the party, while it is wrong for Mr. Ajeru to picket the party. Still ahead on the news at 10, experts in Nigeria's financial markets expect another hike in interest rates. A central bank monetary policy committee kicks off a 2-day meeting. That's on Business News. Please stay with us. Fast-paced. How do you remain unstoppable?
Babe, I need some money for groceries. Dad, the cable TV subscription has expired.
What if I told you the key to being unstoppable is now at your fingertips?
Uncle, wait. Uncle, have you forgotten I'm going back to school today? Thank you.
I beg no forget plumber money.
Oga, we need to buy fuel. Don't let petty transactions limit you. Download the First Money Wallet app or dial *894*1# on any mobile phone and live unstoppable.
Enjoy the unlimited life with First Money Wallet. Dial *894*1# on any mobile phone to activate now. You first. First Bank.
Hello, my bro. Man, the rain is so heavy here. And there's so much traffic. I think we should go score now.
Not a chance. Aisha.
We don't quit, guys. I'll be there.
Done.
2 files received. I'm on my way. Take the first right in 50 meters and you're there.
Copy that. Aisha, where are you?
Guess where?
2 minutes. 2 minutes. Move. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Runway X.
The future of fashion showcasing.
Very impressive. How did you pull that off?
With Nigeria's top tech talents.
And Glow?
Power your relentless ambition with ultra-high-speed data. Glow.
With Glovo, you order anything you want, and when you receive it, you celebrate it with your whole body. Because when that tasty grilled chicken is here, the weekend starts. The ingredients for your favorite recipe, just in time. And when the cake arrives, the party is on. Because receiving anything on Glovo deserves a dance. Download the app, order anything you want, and track it minute by minute until it arrives. Glovo, order anything, we deliver in minutes.
It's a great taste for me. Onga makes sure cooking fun. Happiness, we go fill your belly. Enjoy the taste and aroma daily. Onga,
Try the improved Onga Chicken Cube for great chicken taste and aroma.
Mommy, there's something under my bed. Mommy, I cannot sleep. Mommy, I'm having nightmares. My dog cannot sleep. Mommy, do you know I snore? I'm not snoring. You don't want to snore. That's what I snore. I don't snore. You snore.
Okay, come in.
Ooh, yeah. Happy family, happy home. You know in every room there's a muka. Yeah. Get comfort, stay refreshed. Choose muka mattress. Sleep better, live better, muka.
Welcome back to the News at 10, coming to you live from Channels Television. In commemoration of the 25th anniversary of the death of the former Chief of Defense Staff, General Tunde Idiagbon, the Paul Irene Foundation has donated 1,000 bags of rice and awarded scholarships to 5 indigenes of Ilorin Emirate. The scholarships, according to the chairman of the foundation, is for 5 selected youths to study engineering courses in any federal university in Nigeria.
General Tunde Idiagbon, who was the former Chief of Staff, Supreme Headquarters, was known for his disciplined nature while alive.
It is my pleasure, therefore, to declare today the launching day for the war against indiscipline.
It is 25 years after his death, and the chairman of Paul Irene Foundation and his team arrived at former Ilorin International Airport, now known as General Tunde Idiagbon International Airport, to visit General Idiagbon's family and the Emir of Ilorin. Although he had no personal relationship with General Idiagbon while he was alive, the chairman of Paul Irene Foundation said he admired the tenacity of the man who he says introduced discipline to the psyche of Nigerians.
Tunde Idiagbon was not just a military leader, he was a visionary and a patriot and a symbol of integrity. His unwavering commitment to duty, discipline, and welfare of his country left an indelible mark on Nigeria's history.
Responding, the Emir of Ilorin thanked the foundation and urged Nigerians to emulate good deeds left behind by the late soldier.
The guy, because of discipline and even in death, is still disciplined. And in death, he's still impacting on people, young people, to come and do their best for their fatherland.
At the family compound, the foundation chairman and his team offered prayers and presented gifts to family members left behind. The team also donated 1,000 bags of rice, as well as scholarships for 5 indigent students. He described Tunde Idiagbon as a man of discipline and honor, and wonders why some of his legacies are no longer being sustained.
He used to say that a nation without discipline is bound to fail. We don't have discipline today, where are we?
Very human, very responsible, very respectful. He takes care of everyone, both in the house and our neighbors.
A family friend to the Idiagbons also spoke on how some of the legacies of the late general can be revived.
Once you are disciplined, believe me, you have fear of God and you do the right thing. And corruption will fizzle out. But unfortunately, we are looking at corruption without looking at people who are not really disciplined.
The speakers agreed on the need for government at all levels to restore discipline to the fabrics of the society in order to tackle other challenges facing the country.
Women have been asked to dream big, be focused, and turn obstacles to opportunities, which will enable them achieve success and become financially secure. That's the view of the Chief Executive Officer of Ebony Life Media, Mo Abudu, who was a keynote speaker at the First Bank UN Women webinar in Lagos with the theme, Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress. The webinar, which had other speakers as part of the First Bank month-long celebration of the International Women's Day.
First Bank, which prides itself as a gender-inclusive organization, says women are at the top of its celebration run in the month of March. As a member of UN Women, the bank puts together this webinar with discussions around financial empowerment for women.
First Bank.
To push the envelope, the CEO of Ebony Life Group, Mo Abudu, opens the floor, asking our gender to dream big and turn obstacles to opportunities.
It means that there's a solution that's waiting for that particular thing to be fixed, to be rearranged. And you could be the rearranger of that particular thing.
She adds that goals are achieved by taking daily actions.
When I set up Ebony Life Television, we had to move to Calabar. Governor Luli Moke welcomed us with his wife, Obioma. We set up Ebony Life TV there. We're there for 3 years. I had to move out of my comfort zone to be able to realize the dream of Ebony Life TV becoming a reality.
The UN Women lead in Nigeria believes investment in childcare services will open a greater door of financial empowerment for women.
I mean, in Nigeria, if we can just use only 4% of our GDP on childcare services, we're going to create 9 million jobs, of which 60% of those jobs will be women's jobs.
Pushing the conversation further, a panel of 4 women agree that gender equality requires better legislation and stronger political will, among others.
It starts with intentionality. It starts with, the political will from the leadership of an institution and a decision taken at the very top, to do so.
Women business leaders need to mentor other women. If there's no mentorship in business, I don't see that there will be growth. I've seen that most businesses that scale, they come from very good mentorship.
Our company, for example, we're open to employing females, but we have just a few in the engineering and more on the administrative side, the sales, the marketing, the finance, and other administrative roles.
The First Job Grant is the only single-digit loan targeted specifically at women in the industry as at today. So we don't give the loans to men. I mean, don't say we are gender biased. No. The focus is we know that women need to play in this space.
First Bank, which describes itself as a premier bank in West Africa, says it's putting its money where its mouth is by driving a deliberate policy consistent with the UN Women Empowerment Principles, which are equal opportunity, inclusion, and non-discrimination.
Well, that's all from the nation's capital. Business News is next with Will Ibong.
Banking, so easy, so simple. Dial *894# now to experience it. You first, First Bank.
Thank you, Ferry, and welcome to Business News. And the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN Monetary Policy Committee, has kicked off its two-day meeting today as Naira continues to strengthen against the dollar. Many experts are expecting another rate hike to be delivered at the end of the Central Bank MPC meeting on Tuesday. However, the CEO of Cowrie Asset Management, Mr. Johnson Chukwu, holds a different opinion.
I think the most appropriate thing to do is wait and see the impact, the full impact of the policy they took on February 26th and 27th. We are seeing the impact on exchange rates. We will not see the impact on inflation. Hopefully, we're going to see the impact on inflation after some time when traders begin to re-import or replenish their stock. We're going to see that the impact on productive activity, maybe in 90 days, when the demand would have slowed down or producers will not be able to go to the banks to borrow and then go back into productive activities. So till this full weight is fully measured, I think the appropriate thing for them to do is to hold rates at current levels.
Meanwhile, the Central Bank of Nigeria has initiated the sale of $10,000 to bureau de change operators at a fixed rate of 1,251 naira to a dollar. The CBN's Director of Trade and Exchange Department, Dr. Hassan Mahmood, who made this known in a statement, says the aim is to address liquidity challenges and stabilize the exchange rate in the FX market. According to the statement, each bureau de change is instructed to sell the allocated dollars to eligible customers at a rate not exceeding 1.5% above the purchase price, effectively capping the selling rate at 1,269 naira per dollar. The dollar rate crashed today to 1,450 naira against the dollar as speculators sold off foreign currency at the parallel markets. And the domestic bourse opened the last trading week in March on a sour note as investors await the outcome of the CBN MPC meeting on Tuesday. Idiagbon Mekwa tells us more.
Hello, Will. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Stock Market Report. Well, we'll begin this week on the red note, unfortunately. After 2 days of gains last week, we see the all-share index down on Monday, 0.49% at 104,136.35, and the market cap at 58.88 trillion naira at the close of trade. And this is because of banking. Banking lost 1.72%, was down because UBA lost 70 kobo, Zenith Bank lost, FBNH, GTCO, those big guys were down. So we see that. And then we come to consumer goods, and we see that Dangote Sugar lost today, lost some money, 590 kobo to close at 53 naira 10 kobo. That alone brought this down, 0.83%. A little bit of gains for industrial goods because of Lafarge at the close of trade. Activity chart is so red, very red. Well, let's start down on Monday and perhaps we'll close at the top on Friday. But as a stock market report, I'm Idiagbon Mekwa. Back to you.
Thank you, Ini. Let's hope for a rebound tomorrow. Now a snapshot of closing numbers.
Banking, so easy, so simple. Dial *894# now to experience it. You first, First Bank.
Let's take it back to Senegal, where former Nigerian President, that is Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, is applauding the people of Senegal for a hitch-free poll. He spoke to the media after a closed-door meeting he had with the outgoing President Macky Sall, which had in attendance members of the AU mission, ECOWAS mission, and the European missions in Senegal.
The meeting is to really congratulate Mr. President and the people of Senegal for the peaceful and transparent elections. We've seen the honesty in the citizens of this country, and we're quite pleased with the outcome. And I have to congratulate all Senegalese for these successful elections.
Well, coming up next on the news at 10, Russia charges 4 men, it says, attacked a Moscow concert hall and killed at least 137 people. Please stay with us.
sure. Do you think this is your bedroom?
There is excitement when you know your future is in good hands. Move to Stanbic IBTC Pension Managers today and let us help you retire into your extraordinary future. Call 01-271-6000 or visit www.stanbicibtcpension.com for more information.
Do you know that you can now print all your essential items for events without even having to leave your home? It's the Cash Print Combo Deal for all events.
Yes!
Weddings, conferences, birthdays, burials, etc. Starting from 495,000 Naira only. You get 50 invites, 50 A2 size posters, 50 16-page brochures, 1 large backdrop banner, 1 roll-up banner, 50 jotters with pens, and 50 souvenir carrier bags. Whatever event you're planning, we can adjust to your budget and quantities. Just send your pictures and other information through WhatsApp, and we shall send a design for your approval. Approve your design, and we will produce with super high-quality digital print technology. We can even arrange delivery to your location. Call us now on 0913-156-5016 or 0812-794-9323 or visit our social media pages. Cash Prints, digital printing at super speed.
A lush woman never settles because when she goes after passion, she finds her true self.
Pink?
A lush woman knows beauty is what she makes it to be. A lush woman stands up to all stereotypes, and with every stand, she'll be doing it for her, and her. Lush hair. Be beautiful.
Welcome back. A Russian court has charged 4 men with act of terrorism following a concert hall attack in Moscow. According to authorities, 4 gunmen stormed the Crocus City Hall on Friday night in northern Moscow and began firing on some of the estimated 6,000 people who were attending a rock concert. Here's Hamid Puzi with other international news and around the world in 5.
Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Russia has charged 4 men that it says attacked a Moscow concert hall and killed at least 137 people. All 4 appeared to have been beaten or injured, and 1 was brought to court in a wheelchair. They were charged with committing an act of terrorism. The Islamic State Group, or IS, said it carried out Friday's outrage at Crocus City Hall and posted video evidence. The graphic video released by IS showing attackers firing on the crowd inside the concert hall has been verified. Russian officials have claimed without evidence Ukrainian involvement. Kyiv says the claim is absurd. However, no Russian official has acknowledged the claim that ISIS was behind the attack. And Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said in a news conference on Monday that it was inappropriate to comment on it until the investigation had been completed. Ukraine says it has hit 2 landing ships, a communication center, and other infrastructure used by Russia's Black Sea Fleet off annexed Crimea. An announcement by the Ukrainian General Staff said the Yamal and Azov ships had been destroyed. The Russian-installed governor of the port of Sevastopol said 10 Ukrainian missiles had been shot down. Russia also launched a missile and drone attack on the capital Kyiv and the region of Lviv early on Sunday. The EU has announced investigations into some of the biggest tech firms in the world over uncompetitive practices.
The Commission has decided to open its first non-compliance investigations under the Digital Markets Act.
Alphabet, which owns Google, Meta and Apple, are all being looked into for potential breaches of the Digital Markets Act introduced in 2022. If they are found to have broken the rules, the firms can face huge fines of up to 10% of their annual turnover. EU antitrust boss Margaret Vestager and industry head Thierry Breton announced the investigations on Monday. It comes 3 weeks after the EU fined Apple €1.8 billion for breaking competition laws over music streaming. UK MPs who have thought to have been targeted in cyber attacks by China have held a news conference in London. Former Conservative leader Sir Ian Duncan-Smith, former Minister Tim Lawton and the SNP's Stuart MacDonald were earlier briefed by the head of parliamentary security. It came as Deputy Prime Minister Oliver Dowden told Parliament that China is responsible for cyber attacks which accessed personal details of millions of voters.
First, the compromise of the United Kingdom Electoral Commission between 2021 and 2022, which was announced last summer. And second, attempted reconnaissance activity against UK parliamentary accounts in a separate campaign in 2021.
Ecuador's youngest mayor, Brigitte Garcia, has been shot dead. The 27-year-old and her press officer were found dead in a car on Sunday in the town of San Vicente, where she had won the mayoral election last year. No arrests have been made so far, and it is not clear what the motive may be. Ms. Garcia is the latest politician to be killed in the Andean country, which last year was rocked by the assassination of the presidential candidate, Fernando Villavicencio. The opposition leader Bassirou Diomaye Faye is leading the race in Senegal's presidential election according to local media. Several of the 17 candidates have conceded to him. However, official results have not yet been announced. Millions took part in a peaceful vote on Sunday following 3 years of turbulence and opposition protests against the incumbent Macky Sall. The ruling coalition's choice, Amadou Ba, has denied that he has lost, saying he expected to contest a runoff vote to decide a winner. This would be required if no candidate gets more than 50% of the vote. Boeing's chief executive, Dave Calhoun, will leave the plane maker by the end of this year, the company has announced. Boeing also said that the boss of its commercial airlines division will retire immediately, while its chairman will not stand for re-election. The firm is under pressure after a door panel on a plane blew out in mid-air in January. No one was injured during the incident, but the firm's safety record has come under renewed scrutiny. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.
Thank you, Simon. Welcome to Sports News. Former Brazil defender Dani Alves has left a prison near Barcelona after settling the €1 million bail set by a court to ensure his release pending appeal. Alves has been in jail since his arrest in January 2023 on suspicion of raping a young woman in the VIP bathroom of a Barcelona nightclub in December 2022. The 40-year-old former Barcelona and Paris Saint-Germain star walked out of the prison in San Esteban with his lawyer. The court's decision to free Alves was criticized by Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. Super Falcons head coach Randy Wardrum has called up Asisat Ushoala, Chiamaka Naduzi, Rashidat Ajibade and 19 others for the Paris Olympics qualifier clash against South Africa. Wardrum has also kept faith with regulars like Michel Alozie, Crystal Uchebe and Alimatu Ayinde and Gift Monday. The Super Falcons are at home for the first leg scheduled for April 5th at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, before flying to Pretoria for the return at the Loftus Versfeld Stadium on April 9th. The winner over 2 legs will earn one of Africa's 2 tickets to this year's Women's Olympic Football Tournament in Paris. And Super Eagles interim head coach Finidi George is targeting another win as the 3-time African champions face Mali in their second friendly match tomorrow. The 2 West African teams clash at the Marrakesh Ground Stadium, where the Super Eagles put up an impressive show to defeat arch-rival Ghana 2-1 last week. The Super Eagles will be without central defender Calvin Bassey and defensive midfielder Frank Onyeka, who are injured. Mali signaled their readiness for the encounter with a 2-0 spanking of Mauritania, also in Morocco last week. And Declan Rice will enjoy a pinch me moment when he captains England on his 50th appearance for his country in Tuesday's night friendly against Belgium. The 25-year-old Arsenal midfielder is set to start in midfield at Wembley to reach the milestone for his country. England boss Gareth Southgate announced the Three Lions captain for the match in this afternoon's pre-match press conference, in which Rice admitted the honour has blown him away. That's it on sport. Is back to you, Ayotunde.
Many thanks, Chris. And the main news again. The National Security Advisor today confirmed the escape of an executive of Binance, Nadeem Anjarwalla, from its custody. This came as the federal government filed a 4-count tax evasion charge against the cryptocurrency exchange platform. The Minister of Information, Mohammed Malagi, has maintained that there was no payment of ransom to free Kuriga school children in Kaduna. He also said that Islamic scholar Sheikh Abubakar Gumi has been with security operatives to answer questions over his comments on bandits. And Senegal's ruling coalition candidate Amadou Ba has called the opposition's Bassirou Diomaye Faye to concede victory in yesterday's presidential election. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. You have a good night and please stay safe.
Hello and welcome to another fantastic episode